I actually decided I will record this stuff here. To me, it's, in a way, it's not interesting. It's just, how can I even say, revealing after 54 years of MK Ultra. I come to conclusion, and in a world where I was born from rocks, cracks in the rocks that I grew up, I get to see the Western world for what it is. I get to know one during really harshest moments in my life. Severe health problems. And what I just posted a few minutes ago. This is what Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez even had somebody to pose in the bed, or she alone was inside of the bed, inside of the hospital, claiming me that this is also what I will have, 100%. And I heard multiple sclerosis diagnosis on who knows how many occasions. But the thing is, in a distance that these people went, that's what is the most surprising to me, for me to have this multiple sclerosis also. I think I probably have very serious, exceeding cancer problems. Maybe even 3 kinds of symptoms of cancer. Different kind of symptoms: lymphoma, stomach, intestines, and even something else when it comes to cancer. Broken spine. And the latest dilemma that I faced with is even this here. That's why I said I think that what you get to know is who you dealt with is when you find yourself in a situation like I did. Hopefully not, but if it would not come to me, if it wouldn't come to me precisely about what I see, what I experience through these things, then I'd really be retarded. And if I be retarded in my case, oh, it's a very fast browser, nothing to say. If I would somehow not see what I saw, in that case it would be on me. It would really be on me. What exactly do I mean by this? It would be on me. God forbid, scum, that I would not call you for what you are and reveal about you, scum, what you did to me. God forbid I somehow would have mistaken you for the friends, because you are serial killers, you're butchers, you're serial killers and butchers like those that we see in Ukraine, except that you are different kind of butchers, you're different kind of killers. You butcher with your political positions, through your political standings, through your political organized crime, corruption. And that's what democracy about United States of America, about European Union really is. Right here, this is the Friday, Black Friday special. And that's how you refer to one, that's how you regarded one. You regarded one as a main Black Friday special will be taking down my blog. That was Donald Trump who was all insane about it. Together with a Christopher Wray, together with Akash Patel, together with our entire American administration, Joe Biden, all of you politicians who had a free lunch here inside of this house. And before this one, you had one in previous house. That's why I decided I will do a video on this stuff. I will do a video. This video might not do me any good, but this video might do other people good. There might be people who will watch this. There were so many people involved in this. Look. Everyone on the friends list here that you see here, every person and their families and their friends that you see here is 4,400 something people listed, was directly involved in this, and numerous people more. Everybody saw it. Everybody saw me. Everybody testified this. Might not do me any good, this video, but it might give you idea about what United States of America is and what European Union are, with Australia, with Canada. It might not even do me good. Maybe I'm dead already. I don't know. But this thing here, it gives me a good idea. It gives a really, really good idea about what the United States of America is. It took me maybe even 54 years to get to this degree, because I grow every day. And I never grew more than when they turned back to me entirely, basically. In 2010. I never grew more. Not in 2010. They turned my back in 2004. Long time ago already. Then the only thing they did is they worked their way to put me in the grave. That's all there was. Through psychiatric hospitalization. So this picture is gone. I don't see it. Why did they put this stuff away? Oh, it's here. They changed the do we even hear anything about Epstein anymore? I didn't do this. It's called Control F, and not supposed to be that way. There is nothing about Epstein anymore, all of a sudden. Isn't that interesting? I mean, at one point in time, it's like a frenzy. Epstein, Epstein, Epstein. Where is Epstein? Where the fuck is Epstein? A little earlier, I saw here, it was about, yeah, this is my blog since November the 28th. Nobody heard, nobody talked anything about it. That's fucking strange. Really, really strange. This is a 10 years old blog they took down, and this is a screenshot I took a little earlier. Probe underway over allegations Kesh Patel used FBI jet for date. Wow, really? An Instagram chief mandates return to office and warns 2026 is going to be, wow. Aubrey O'Day reads disturbing email from a Diddy. From a Diddy in a Netflix. Scandi style has taken over the US. It's a Scandi. Scandi Bimbi Bambi. It's a Scandi time, man. A lot of important news, I see. A lot of important news. Michael and Susan Dell donate 6.25 billion. How many did this guy, how many times? This guy built his entire career on this extermination procedure. Penniless as he was. Just like Steve Jobs. Just like Apple, just like everybody else. Everything through this case. No, I am not against. I am absolutely not against American children receiving instructions on how to go through life. They're gonna pick up that from you anyways. That change, today you have it, tomorrow you don't have it. The saving accounts, I don't know what that is. That's bizarre. That's sick. This news is really, really sickening. Do you know how they got the money from me, my life savings? Do you know how they got the money from me? For those of you that look forward to those 6.25 billion, do you know how they got it? Oh boy, it looks fucking ugly. Ugh. Do you know how they got it? They just cut every way for me to get any kind of employment. And then all I had to do was pay $650 something per month and $1,000 per month through the Scandinavia and food and so on. And they took every fucking dime. They took absolutely everything. All the work I did for $5 an hour for a minimum wage. For a minimum wage. Which I did. I would go and even do 24 hours straight. Whenever it would be available. Because they were driving me insane. They were using the work for torture purposes. They were using the work to organize MK Ultra procedure based on their needs. So MK Ultra was more important, much more important than jobs. So unemployment was the core money for the US government because this is what they needed so much. Even in 2018, 2019, and 2020, you would still see me arrested, literally hijacked by Ursula von der Leyen, by Mark Rutte, by Angela Merkel, by British Charles the King, because they didn't need me. They didn't fucking need me. 2018, 2019, 2020. They did all they possibly could to get me killed by hijacking me. Talking about the man that you see right there. Talking about the European Union bureaucrats who claimed that I was no good, that I was evil, that I needed to be dead, and so on. Yet they needed me. They needed me like a Sahara needs the water. For Viktor Orban to repeatedly take me to Moscow, where they would butcher me, lynch me even more. Together with a Polish partner, with the Polacks. With the Polacks, with the Ukrainians, they need me. They needed the Russians to butcher me, to lynch me inside of the Moscow. Because Viktor Orban had to portray himself as a European Union option that still exists open to Putin. Viktor Orban is European Union spy. He is a CIA, FBI spy is what he is, this man, Hungarian. They claim that I'm no good, that I'm an animal, that I should not fucking exist. Yes, in 2018, 2019, 2020, they continue to march me per the agenda that you continue to see today on the internet about Viktor Orban visiting Vladimir Putin in Russia, in Moscow. That's exactly the repetition from 2008, from 2015, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Whenever Orban would have me hijacked, either with assistance of Belarusians or Slovenes or Polacks where I immigrated to the Russia. Yeah, he took initiative to get me killed in the Russia. Every time it was like a gift he would deliver to Kremlin so that the Russians could get their hands on me. I needed to be evil, scum. You couldn't do without this evil. I had to be everything. I had to be everything so you can portray now, today you can portray yourself through Viktor Orban. Today you can portray to Putin Viktor Orban. Today Putin could portray Viktor Orban. Yeah, you scum claimed that I was of no good to you, that I was of no benefit, that it was of no use. And that's how you wanted me to depart. That's how you wanted me to die, basically. That's how you said. That's how you do with me, right? This is a butcher, this man. This is a serial killer. Just like Ursula von der Leyen is and all of you scum. I'm not talking about the Russians here. I'm talking about European Union Germans. I'm talking about the Scholz. I'm talking about Angela Merkel. I'm talking about the Merz. I'm talking about the Macron. I'm talking about all of you politicians inside of the European Union. Trump. Biden. Bush. Clinton. Obama. Entire US Congress. You depended on me, scum. You depended on me, scum, like you have never ever depended on any other politician, any historical person in your country, wherever the fuck you are from. You depended on me like a Sahara depended on water. And you go and you pose. You dare to pose, actually. I like these Black Friday deals. Like this. I don't like this antivirus, but today it's nice. I like that. It's just perfect. Because it reminds, it's December the 2nd, 2025. This is the scum you need to explain. This is the scum that you took my blog after 10 years. This was not even a blog. This was no fucking blog. No, this is blog. This was no fucking blog. This was about the stuff that you scum have done it. This was a witnessing. This was not a witnessing like the one from the Epstein. Because the Epstein is nothing and nobody when compared to this. This was just a witnessing about who you serial killers, butchers are. That's why I decided I'm going to do this video, because I had to put this video on. The fruits of the politic which you carved through me can be seen today on a daily basis on the front pages. All over is what you boast, is what you boast yourself, is how you portray yourself, you're concerned, right? Ursula von der Leyen, you're concerned for the Ukraine, right? Your fucking goodness, all of you, you're so concerned and so responsible you are, right? You're loyal, you're patriotic, you're somebody, right? You're somebody, you're scum, you're somebody and you're something. You're on an important mission to save the world. Michael and Susan Dell donate $6.25 billion to encourage. They took me $60-something thousand basically from life savings. Stole absolutely everything by my going from one house to another, basically from one company to another, applying for the job. Did you fucking believe this? Through Minnesota, through Washington State, ended up applying for asylum in Canada, through actually Chicago, Illinois, in 2008, then it was Minnesota, then it was Washington State, running from the enemy you cannot outrun. It's called the US government, it's called Central Intelligence Agency, it's called Federal Bureau Investigation. running from the prison you can never outrun. Running from the psychiatric hospital, which is right out on open, after being thrown into psychiatric hospital twice. Wasting money, life savings, in Sweden, in Norway, paying for the hostels, actually paying to be hijacked, to be trafficked around the world, including and especially Russia, Serbia, Slovenia, so they could butcher more, so they could lynch more. It wasn't done by the Russians, by Slovenes, by the Serbs. They came to pick me up to Sweden, to Norway, to Germany, where I applied for a political asylum, to Austria, just as if they were in Russia, just as if they were, I was actually paying them in Sweden and in Norway. That's what you call a hostile settings, under my circumstances. Paying them to hijack me, to traffic me. Paying them. They will have me disappear, and there will be again time to pay for a hostel. That's all there was. And those are really cheap. 15 euros. Go and see how much. Just go and see, and you're going to see how much it costs. Which are the most expensive countries in the world. Just go and fucking see that stuff. So this here, Michael and Susan Dell, first of all, you fucking nobody. That's a first of all. And every cent that you own is a stolen money. Every dime that you ever had, including your underwear, came from the stolen money. Every fucking cent. So, but this is how I get to know you. This is basically how I get to know who you are. This is not the news that sparked me doing this video. This is just to demonstrate what this is all about, what these people wanted. I told you that next to cancer issues that I am experiencing since 2018, this is that other part, this mental toll that next to bestiality performed on me, because that's what this was. This is a trauma-based cardiovascular sleep deprivation, trauma-based torture is what this is. It's a killing. It's a killing, systematic killing with a poisoning administrated to make your internal organs develop multiple sclerosis alike health problems. That's exactly what this is. It goes beyond cancer issues. This stuff doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me, American children, and so on. That's exactly what you want to portray under this news, I guess, that this is what you want. You want to see me smoke and go hysterical about these things. That's how you do. That's the money. That's the color of your politic. Because your goodness, man, your fucking goodness. You're giving the money, you're dealing the money, you're throwing the money. But this isn't what this video is about. What impresses me about this stuff, even that you are diabolical, you're satanist, I mean, you are a butcher. You are the same butcher like the butchers that we see in Ukraine butchering people. Talking to Michael Dell and his wife. And he goes the same for Jeff Bezos, and he goes the same for Zuckerberg, and he goes for the same for every one of you scum who never owned anything in life. Really. for everything you have is stolen. It goes for a society, it goes for United States of America. I am impressed by the stuff that I see. I am totally impressed with this stuff. Because what we see is a depiction of like rich and famous and super wealthy. Basically, Mamdani stated there is 100,000 children in New York. Yeah, this money probably could have been spent better than that. There is 100,000 children in New York who don't even have a possibility due to financial reasons to go inside of the school. So those 25 million American children are under 10 and this and that. This doesn't make any fucking sense to me, the stuff that I see. But still, if the country was to do something about this, shouldn't the country do it? It appears that country is so morally broke that the people in United States of America are so morally broke. It looks like you are gypsies. It looks like you are without absolutely any sense of ownership, pride. No offense to Roma people about this stuff. I don't mean to target Roma people, but it's what you people look down on Roma people. It's like a general perception about the Roma people, about, I don't know, cheap, looking to get from the trash bins and get by and so on, steal from somebody and this and that. I'm just thinking about American attitude, about who Americans as a nation, as a people are. Definitely the stuff that you did to me is beyond disgusting, beyond criminal, and completely in line with what you see Russians are doing in Ukraine. I think that Vladimir Putin, in fact, did learn from you. That's why I stated here, I am just, in my situation, you would be just, I don't know if I stated that Vladimir Putin, I don't know where. I'm not going to go and read this stuff over, but stuff that I see and the way that you presented me, you're going to take my blog down. And this is not because you took my blog down. This is not because you took my blog down. That's exactly how I was presented. The girl that you see right there, 50% off, black, might have even been the girl who was involved in MK Ultra, doing exactly what you see right there. Might have been, I don't know, because it was girl and people that would post in front of Black Friday 50% off stuff. But a psychiatrist, Peter Kapsch, promised me, claimed me, together with Donald Trump, with Kash Patel, and with numerous other people, that 50% off with the police from Novomest, so 50% off is going to be my blog that is going to go on. Like I said, this is not even a blog. You're going to try to present this as a blog, you fail. Because this is not a blog. This is not the Epstein files. This whole thing appears to be continuation of the psychiatry. It appears to me that you continue to desperately search for the proofs about my being mentally ill. Proof that in fact there was no MK Ultra and it was just this mentally ill sick person who was seeing MK Ultra in everything and everyone. Just don't forget, I paid for that. I also paid for that. Remember how many airfares, buses, taxis, car rentals. The biggest car rentals in the US, I think it was Hertz. I didn't even go through that. But they were flying me from one location to another whenever I was hijacked. So going sleepless for days at a time was just something that couldn't be any other way. They basically rationalize what they refer to as proofs, in parentheses, with mental illness, and justify basically cancer, destruction, poisoning of internal organs. Already if you don't go sleep and stuff like this, and they do the stuff to you, already kills you, you know that. It'll destroy your organs, internal organs, start to fail and so on. You know about that stuff. You are, my God, you are fucking beasts. You are not people. There is not a fucking trace about democracy of any kind. You are a fucking beasts. Joseph Stalin could not even dream about something like this. I understand that he was a bad person, but you scum, you must be whatever world managed to come up with when it comes to evil. I cannot see you in any other light. I'm doing this to alert that something is terribly wrong with this American people. Government, US government. They talk about the communism in China. In China, billionaires don't do this stuff like you do. In China, if billionaires dedicate the money, they dedicate one to the children in need. Whatever is needed. That's what the communism does. Rightfully so. No, unfortunately for you, I'm not a communist. It's you guys who try to turn me into communist through what I described here. Because you need to apologize. You need to apologize extermination. You need to apologize genocide. There was a great reason why I was flown to the Kim Jong-un and to the Lukashenko and to also to Russia and to the Serbia and this and that. You had many, many reasons. You wanted to justify, you wanted to apologize the stuff that you have done through exactly what I described here. This is just completely bankrupt society. Completely. These are really a signs of the society that is so controlled. Every one of those pennies, with exception of the Illuminati children who I guess are going to be fighting, killing one another to participate in extermination procedure just as the one I described and my case. I don't think I'm the only person. I think you actually kill a lot of people, a lot of children like this that you kill. I think that United States of America and European Union are actually based on the stuff that took place against me. I think that you actually butcher, lynch, kill people for fun. I think that without the psychiatry, you wouldn't be even having a capacity to run your economies. I think that mentally, socially, that you are a completely broken society. Rotten, eaten from within. I think that you as a country of United States of America, as a nation, Germany, Italy, France, Spain, Britain, Scandinavia, Dutch, Swedes, all of you in Canada and Australia, I think that you actually exist to mug, to rob, lie, kill, and steal. I think that your entire society is based on psychiatry. That's why I am recording this stuff, because I want to expand my knowledge, and by expanding my knowledge, I hope that those who will consider this case will start to understand exactly what exactly you are made out of. So this is actually a good news here for me, this Michael Dell, all through your disgusting creature to me that you couldn't be more disgusting. And then you get to see a lot of important news out there. You know, 54-year-long case like this, it's not a big deal. This is not a big deal. It's the first time that you are being exposed for the world of psychiatry completely controlled world of psychiatry through something that gave me ability to write on it on the computer, which is, I would not be capable to do this stuff without a computer. I would not have any kind of capacity. I'm sure there will be technologies in the future that will be even more beneficial to computers than I'll be capable to use, but everything will be questionable, really. And so what I did was in a most old, primitive way, but, you know, with a typewriter and having nowhere to post, no audience and stuff like this, I wouldn't be doing any of this stuff. This is also true. Yeah, it's about Donald Trump. The Donald Trump, yesterday he had everybody was concerned about an MRI. Do you know what the MRI? Donald Trump was laughing at me during MK Ultra. And he was MRIing himself. They were also MRIing me. Though I had a problem with the MRIs they did. They didn't want me to do MRIs. And so whenever they would be doing me MRIs, they also death threatened. Like the Slovenian Robert Golob would go and death threaten all kinds of stuff. It was all kinds of stuff involved in MRI. But they did MRI me. They MRI'd me in Britain. They MRI'd me in the United States. They MRI'd me in Slovenia. Robert Golob was present everywhere. So I don't even know where they MRI'd me, but I remember Americans and I remember also British who MRI'd me, who did MRI. British Charles, Britanski Charlie, Charles and his son William with a Harry. They wanted to know everything. They wanted to have everything. It wasn't a difficult thing to do. I was just told that without the walking, you will just fade away and die. It's actually true. Because the urine is so strange that is coming out of me. They talk about the prostate cancer. They talk about intestine cancer. All kinds of stomach problems. Lymphoma was on the table, and that I can feel. I yet have to record some videos. And Donald Trump, just by watching this stuff, learning from it, he became just like a police officer, just like everybody. It became like a physician. Started to learn about all this stuff and started to examine himself. And make also sure that he would tell me to remind me that I would have to go to the MRI and this and that. That this is the thing to do. As you know, I'm not allowed to even go check myself to physicians. Since 2018, you were able to see exactly what took place. Try this with a 4 hours of sleep a day, and we'll see how that's going to go. For how long? I had a serious problems. Health problems. Before I even left to the Belarus in 2016, as you know. This was no joke. So, there is a lot of important news I see, and as they refer to my blog, 50% off blog. You Americans, I'm going to put it this way, and it's not only about you. This is not about you only. You get the kick out of this stuff. You got to admit it's the way. It's the way to get it done. It's not a coincidence. It is. It's a problem. It's a problem when people like this are involved in this, because all they gotta do is basically smile, pose with the big smiles, and you are in this kind of situation. That's all they need to do to prove that you are mentally ill. Through see nothing, hear nothing, know nothing. And that's exactly what they're doing. It's exactly what this game is. Post a note like this one here from Michael Dell, Susan Dell, about contribution of 6 billion, and I like that one, of the wife of the Jeff Bezos, how much money she donated also. But this really just goes to show that you are prioritizing organized crime, scumbaggery, psychiatry, hijackings, killings, poisoning, collective, or rather than go through the government handouts, basically, rather than to go with the dignity on the street and feel about yourself like it's yours because of your work. You choose to pay your bills through caskets of your fellow citizens. You choose actually to get people killed, homeless, exiled, sick, kill them left and right, make them disappear, and sure enough your Social Security will be entitled for their share of work, for their contributions without them being anywhere, right? That's how you pay the stuff you pay. So I had to video record to remind you that you use me for worse than espionage services even today in 2025, right here. Look, right here, you see it? Viktor Orban also had me in Serbia. He also took me to Serbia, etc., etc., etc. But this is not Viktor Orban we see right there. Right there, you see Ursula von der Leyen, who is parading inside of the European Union Parliament together with the Mark Rutte, chief of the NATO secretary, Mark Rutte, etc. All of you heroes for whom I was evil. I was absolute evil. It makes me also understand why the fuck I was so evil. Why the fuck I had to look so evil. Why do I have to look like this? Who needed all this? Who still today in 2025 from Moscow is freeloading himself through the gifts of yesterday, through the pre-arranged meetings that you held in the past, by hosting your friend from Hungary, talking to Vladimir Putin. It goes to demonstrate, it goes to show basically the whole picture about who needed whom, whether I needed you or you needed me. And I'm gonna ask you a question: when the fuck in my life did I needed you, scum? You became involved in this stuff when I was few months of age. Now, in 1 week, I'm gonna be 54 years old. And now you tell me, did I needed you or you needed me? What exactly I ever got from you other than destruction, robbery, theft, devastation, death, poisoning, torture. You name me one thing, what you gave me. It's interesting, this issue. It's very interesting because Prince Charles, now King Charles, insisted that I have to recall who was the one who was lying to me nicely. Something that I demonstrated you on my blog about yeah, he demanded the credit for this. He demanded from me the credit for... There is a video that I did post on the blog about the people who you are, basically. Make a choice. Are you the person that brings happiness to the people, joy? That's how he pursued his lies. That's how he pursued his lies. Or as he portrayed me, that he's gonna see about me. There was a guy next to whom the snakes were, who was sitting inside of the corner. That was Princess Anne. I told you about 2008 Princess Anne, how she started with this stuff. That I'm gonna make a decision. That I'm gonna have to make choice, basically, between the torture. That I'm gonna have to make a choice between lies and torture and only torture. Lies and torture and only torture. Torture was Slovenian side, a Russian side, Serbian side. Was to British and American and Germans, it applied torture and lies. You're beasts. You're up to no fucking good. And it's under this type of circumstances that it helps me understand more about your culture, more about who you are, where you are, and for those who will align themselves to you, what destiny they will be taking from within, the direction they will be heading based on taking the side with you. That's why this video, because it might be people who will hear this, it might be people who will watch this, it might be people who will remind themselves of me, of this 54-year-long ordeal, basically on how you do it, on how you pay back. Learn about your ethics, learn about your human rights, learn about your concerns for better world, for better tomorrow. Learn about your loyalty. Learn about your patriotism. I found it bizarre that I would have to compare myself, see myself, make my choices. In other words, be compelled, be raped, basically, be strangled like this through the psychiatric hospitalizations with which you started in 2012. No. The world must make choice about who you are. There is over 500,000 Ukrainians that's being killed. Almost 600,000 Ukrainians that's being killed in this war in Ukraine. There's been 10 million Ukrainians that lost their roofs over their heads, with the 6 million Ukrainians searching like a cockroaches for the handouts throughout the European Union, with 4 million of Ukrainians homeless inside of the Ukraine. You got them on this road, you promised them, you put them on this road, for even if these people would claim their land back, even if these people would get their country back together, which is not going to happen, but even if it would, these people still have to make choice. These people still have to understand. No, the only one worse than Donald Trump is Kamala Harris, Barack Obama, Bernie Sanders, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. All these people were Russian bodies. I told you that the civil rights movement dates to Soviet Union, which supported one immensely in United States of America exactly through this case. Exactly through this case, and that's a Democratic Party. I told you about this stuff. This is issues that I told you about. I told you all about this stuff. That for natural reasons have American blacks, Latinos, minorities, Asians saw themselves inside of the Soviet Union, just like Chinese and Indian have seen themselves inside of the Soviet Union due to colonial era, due to colonization. This I told you about. The only one worse than Donald Trump is entire Democratic Party, which they handed to Donald Trump his presidency. We'll never forget the words of Kamala Harris and so on. There's one thing if these people get in the United States of America that will probably lead into the third war in Ukraine. One more time. That Ukrainian people should consider the stuff that I stated here in this video. Well, they might not even have to because of the stuff that goes on inside of the Ukraine anyways. We see incredible stuff happening inside of Ukraine, so that might not even be necessary. They're talking about Zelensky and his associates. It's truly, truly impressive, and it's not their fault. It is Ukrainians who placed them over there. It is Ukrainians who also participated in this see nothing, hear nothing, know nothing game. In this American handouts game, in this hot potato game. It's like a hot potato. You give somebody and it's too hot to hand it, and you hand it somebody else, and that one again, it's too hot, and you know, it's circling around, right? Something similar to that type of stuff is what I witnessed in this, through this 54-year-long ordeal. For the world to understand you, for the world to really know what your entire society is built based upon, I think there is no country that would have been so poor, that would have been so poor like United States of America or Germany or Britain or any other country. There is no country that it doesn't matter how poor you are, that if you organize yourself and you organize through cabal a collective killing in your society through psychiatric, in parentheses, hospitals and science, that you put psychiatric hospitals out there and you start killing children like in a way I did. There is no fucking country in this world that could not be as wealthy as United States of America or Germany or Britain or any other country. No fucking country. If you based the law on, in a parenthesis, constitution, and then what you do is you enforce psychiatric extermination procedure within the society, there is no country in this world that could not be as wealthy as United States of America, and that's a fact. Their wealth comes from extreme sickness, from extreme poverty, from what is known in Yiddish as meshuggah, BEN ZONA, madness basically. Jews have a beautiful terms for madness. There is no greater misery in this world and the one that I got to see in Britain, in the United States of America, across the Germany, Italy, Spain, Portugal, Sweden, Norway, Netherlands, Canada, Australia. This is a misery that where people fucking eat people. You fucking shuck. You eat one another for this. You slit throats to your own children for this. Then that's exactly what you are made out of. I hope that whoever you are watching this video, that you consider the stuff that I stated, and when making decisions about direction of your country, where you want your country to be at, how you want your country, how you want your social order, how is it that you want. Of course, there is elites, there is groups of people that, due to certain issues, that they always want to be at top of the country. It doesn't matter which country do you go. And that's why I find it bizarre, because Americans are so disturbed with the Chinese. They were so disturbed. Germans and British are so disturbed with the Chinese, are so disturbed with the Turks. Why is it that in Turkey Turks, and why is it that in China Chinese, and so on? They were so fucking disturbed with these issues. But when we consider this case overall, about what you have in the pocket for humanity, where your story is taken to, what exactly you are made out of, right? If you remember Viktor Orban I have just spoken to, then we get a bigger perception and we get a better idea about what exactly, where exactly you are heading with Michael Dell issues and all that stuff. We got to know you really for what you are, where the whole thing is going to. You are a fucking, you talk about all this issue, your culture, your constitution, decoration is based on the massacre. It's based on the butchery. I don't even understand why you put inside of your newspapers about somebody shooting and killing and stuff like this, when this is basically where the fuck you are coming from. Come on, man. It's nothing so unusual. This is basically who you are. This is inside of your DNA. This is what you are made out of. It started when I was few months old. I'm 54 years old. I could not possibly go wrong. I went wrong for no less than 48 years because I kept silent about you. For 54 years almost I did. I finally actually started to talk about you scum sometimes in 2016, when it became evident that even if I'm gonna stay inside of the European Union, that I'm gonna fucking die, that you're gonna fucking kill me. You threw me in 2012 into the psychiatric hospital with the assistance of your Slovenian colleagues. And you repeated again in 2015 at the end of the 2014. You know that I had to somehow stay alive, man. You know that at one point in time, I no longer could be kidding about you. You knew about all that stuff. That's why. You are just, in my case, you came out as a desperate serial killer. Like, he's gonna survive. Get him, fucking grab him. Torture him more, throw him on MRI, examine him this, examine him that, examine him this. We gotta fucking know this. How long the fuck is this guy gonna live? How long will we be able to tell? Will he be able to tell this? Will he? Right? That's how my blog went down. You are just simply desperate, 50% off Black Friday desperate fuckers. That's what you are. You discussed takedown of the block since my blog came out in 2016. 5 years until the end of the 2020. On numerous occasions, you became obsessed already with idea. The further you went, the more the proof started to line out about MK Ultra, the more friends that you were becoming. And you are also a bunch of fucking shizas, mentally ill degenerates. This isn't only about you, about your You know, which is the things that go, this is the stuff that goes in line with one another. Americans are growing shorter, I understand. Really, seriously, it was just genetically done, the research that they are just shrinking. It's no wonder, man. You as a people, as a human beings, you are coming from meshuggah. You are coming from Ben Zona. You're fucking born. You are made out of fucking Ben Zona meshuggah. No, this isn't gonna fucking change anything about it, because that's how you see yourself a competitive to China, to Russia, to India. And it's not about the Russia. It's about India that fucking bothers you. It's about the China that bothers you. It's about Africa that fucking bothers you. It's about the South America that fucking bothers you. That's the stuff that bothers you. It's not the Russia that bothers you. It's about you entrepreneuring how to fuck the rest of the world, how to demand, how to portray, how to do the stuff. But I told you, if other countries, it doesn't matter how poor, start to implement the same technology, psychiatric democracy, like you do in America, like you do in Germany, in Italy, and France, and in Britain, and Scandinavia, Sweden, Norway, Finland, Netherlands, Belgium, if they start doing this kind of stuff, they'd be fucking wealthier than you are. Why? Because you get to steal their natural resources. You get to fucking exploit them. That's precisely why. They get to fucking work for you. They get, in a parenthesis, technology. They got the technology from you and stuff. But in return, they got the rope around the neck, basically. Everybody. You know who you're good for? You're good for nobody, actually. You're a scum. You had me distributed around the world to all the countries to do exactly what I stated here. That's exactly what you did to me. You tortured me in Fiji. You tortured me in Greenland. You tortured me in southernmost tip of Argentina. And you tortured me on Alaska. And you tortured me through the Canada and through Australia and New Zealand. And through entire Africa and Asia. You paid money for that. So that you would not look. So I would go and see people like this. When in reality, it's you, scum. You. Not me, but you. That's why this video. I had to record this video because not the memories on MK Ultra, but a must for the people to understand this case about what is inside of your human brain, what is inside of your DNA, what is inside of your German, Deutsch, Saxe, Saxon. Whether Putin said that you are a Saxon scum, that you are a Saxon, I don't know. What did he say? I don't even know. It was written in the media. Not only I heard it, but it was written in the media. Saxo, I don't know what kind of scum. Putin is shit. Putin is a human shit. And so are Russians. Russians are just a scum that is not well organized. You know what I mean? If they were organized just as you are, then the only thing that would happen is you would have a lot of Russians all over the place, that they would be freezing right out, dying out on cold. That's what that is. Like the stuff I talk about in the video. But you know exactly what the fuck you're doing. It's called a competitive economy. It's called outsmart, outperform other economies. Outsource other economies. Yeah, you're doing it. You're pulling a magic dollars And in your economy, opposed to other economies, the police officers start with a $40,000 job per year. Yeah, that's what's written. Even that in the background, they have to fit your entire families, not of one family. You know, like cash from Mark Dell. It's a wonderland economy through which you portray yourself like this. Let me explain to you how the fuck you portray yourself. Really, it's an economy for which nobody knows who the fuck pays and who the fuck gets. Is another picture here that was on a Yahoo here that I totally failed to mention, but it's very important. I saw the protesters, how they were, you know, how they were going around and they were protesting and this and that, you know. When you have Trump, then you have this, and you have, it looks like a fucking soccer game, man. It truly looks like your life is like a soccer game. You have so many fucking civil rights. You have all kinds of issues pertaining to the civil rights, but then let me ask you, what kind of a civil rights the fuck are you running? Yeah, they talk about how the people do crazy rant and stuff like this for the holidays and stuff like this. I don't know what kind of holidays. Is it that I saw a little earlier? They had a protest. What I'm trying to say, you scum, is that simply your civil rights, you know, the way you align your civil rights is just something that, you know, it's like you're portraying yourself like a healthy democracy or something like that. Come on, man. Look, just remember one thing. Just remember this thing here. This was not a block. Remember, this stuff was not a block. This is not a block. In fact, I can finish, I think, this even more perfect. I can finish this even more perfect. I haven't heard them already for so long. Really, yesterday I heard them, but other than that, nothing. Right now the sirens went off, but I thought I would get the chance to do some of that stuff. Look, this is your democracy. You see this here? See this here? For whoever is out there and does not understand what you scum are based upon, what you are all about, who you are, what you are all about. And that's, you know what the name of my blog is going to be? The name of my blog is going to be now, it's going to be Western World Democracy is regular psychiatry. This is who you are. This is what you are made out of. I'm gonna say to you, happy Friday, Black Friday. The blacker it gets, the better you off. The more dead, the more killed, the more you kill, the more you murder people, the more you backstab people, the more you betray the people, the better you all gonna be off. That's the truth about United States of America. If we all collectively lie and steal and kill, we shall be blessed. This is the United States of America. This is the definition of the freedom of the country of the brave and free. So whoever you are, wherever you are in the world, you must remember that you are never, most likely not even remotely as poor as United States of America. Serious, I'm fucking serious. Don't you see they invade other countries because they don't have enough of their own? There is a fucking reason why they invade other countries. They have to pay the bills. And they pay bills by killing other people, stealing whatever belongs to others, invading other countries so they can pay their bills. By implementing this type of democracy, wherever you are, and it doesn't matter how poor you are, whatever you are, you can trust me, land where you are at has minerals, oil, whatever you have is worthy. You probably would have more than these sick motherfuckers who are so fucking sick that on one side of the country you even have, in a parenthesis, the so-called super billionaires that deal whatever the government should have taken care of when it comes to people. And they do this stuff to make the news, to make a media. It's more credible. Maybe even that if the government would do, that makes it like really great, like it's have the billionaires, and now the billionaires give the children money, free money and stuff. Like, give me a fucking break, man. You motherfuckers are so sick. Not even Joseph Stalin came anywhere, even remotely near you, how sick motherfuckers you are. You are the sickest motherfuckers in the history of the world. And you're going to say, that's right, and that's why we have it. Yes, exactly. That's what you have it. And that's also what the world has with you. And that's also what the world will continue to have with you, as long as they will continue to go in your steps. It's a bit difficult, you must understand, for me to support you in absolutely any way. Even when it comes to Ukraine, the stuff that you do, as I exposed in this video, when it comes to the Viktor Orban, who exactly do you benefit here? Next to Viktor Orban and your apparatchiks over there inside of the European Union, who exactly do you benefit from within, with this kind of stuff? What exactly do you benefit? You have a spy inside of the Moscow, and his name is Vladimir Putin. So what? Fuck your spy inside of the Moscow. You don't even take care the people whom you involved in and fested yourself on since they were a few months of age. You don't give a fuck about anybody, so what good is it? What good you gonna turn anything for anybody for better? What better is it gonna be with you? What is it? How the fuck could it be worse? Worse? How could it be worse than with you? How possibly could somebody have a bigger enemies than yourself? You explain to me one thing. How could anybody have worse enemies than yourself? You fuck United Nations, you destroy absolutely everything. You fuck it up everything that one can destroy. You destroyed, ruin absolutely everything, whatever pertains to humanity. Just look at yourself, what the fuck you did in Gaza over there with the Palestinian people, which also you involved me in what you have done over there. Now it's well over 70,000 people dead. Well over 180,000 that are wounded. And you plan on a complete resettlement. Basically, you call that That's what you call a resettlement. Why don't you resettle Jews out of United States of America? Let me ask you a question. If you're concerned for the people, if you're concerned for the well-being of the humans, why don't you resettle Jews out of United States of America? You approved the plan to resettle this stuff. Actually, I have to video record the stuff about this one here. You approved the plan to resettle Palestinians. A Palestinian conflict. It's a Palestinian conflict. It's a Palestinian homeland. That's what you call a Palestinian homeland, not a conflict. Jew is a war. Jew is conflict, not the Palestinian. That's a Palestinian home. That's a home of the Palestinian people you talk about, not the Palestinian conflict. You still did not cool off in respect to this issue here. I see that you continue to instigate on complete extermination procedure of the Palestinian people. Google doesn't want to report about this stuff no more. I guess it's getting difficult. Probably the internet space costs too much money. You murderous Americans. Had a problem with me. I was your problem. I was anti-Jew. This is the only time I came in touch with Jews was during MK Ultra. That's all there was. Other than that, I didn't have any contacts really with the Jews. Your United States of America, united we stand, divided we fall. Israeli two-state solution. The two-state solution already exists today, whether Israel admitted that or not, because the Palestinian people who are inside of incorporated into the Israeli state, they are treated like dogs, like animals. So whether you admit they are completely treated separately, segregated, whether you admit there is a two-state solution or not, the two-state solution already exists. You don't want to admit, but already exists. It's called Israel, where some animals are treated more equally than others. The united we stand, divided we fall. Jews that are such an important part of American economy, they are such an important ingredient of American democracy, racial mixture, ethnic mixture as they are. United we stand, divided we fall. based on case of my own, can be clearly visible that United States of America is a replica of the Israeli state, for which I already suggested you that some animals are more equal than others, and we already know which animals. And this is the best part about it. I am not a Palestinian, and not that I would want to connect Palestinians with the Germans or British or Americans, whites, but I am not German, I'm not Italian, and I'm not French, nor am I Portuguese, and nor am I British or Swedish or Norwegian or Dutch or wherever the fuck you have out there. That's why, scum. That's why this video. Because the world must understand who you are, where you are, and those that are on your side with you, where they are heading at, in which direction they're heading. That's why. That's why this video. The world must understand about this stuff. Oh, come on, get out. $55,000 children. I read the report from United Nations. 55,000 children was killed, I understand, in Gaza. Actually, in Gaza they say 20-something thousand. It might be Palestinian children. These are Palestinian children one way or the other, so sorry, you have been blocked. UNICEF. How do you resolve this? I don't know. They already resolved this. It used to be what is known as a cache page. There is no more cache page. November 2025. 22,000 children or something like this must have been killed. It says here that they are suffering from acute malnutrition. This was the war on the children that you launched, and you paid one in for entirely with your American tax dollars. Entirely. You know, the world must get to know you. We read about the Russians looting the Ukraine, a Russians rape, a Russian massacre, a Russian butchery, this and that. You're butchers. You guys are butchers. You guys are butchers. You guys you guys are bad people. You guys are just as bad people as Russians in Ukraine. You, in my opinion, Vladimir Putin learned from you. In my opinion, that based on the stuff that you have done to me, it wasn't even difficult to learn for Vladimir Putin on how to be, where to go from within. When it comes to you, Ursula von der Leyen, when it comes to you, Angela Merkel, when it comes to the British royals, the nobles from a Buckingham Palace, it wasn't even a difficult thing for him to do. He can see, he can read. He's not crazy. He sees every day. They see it every day. They know how the world is. They know what can be done. And they have the best teachers in the world. You were the teachers. You are the best teachers in the world. They learn from you. They learn from you firsthand. They learn from you everything they needed to learn about how it's done. Because if you can do it, not only they can do it, but they must do it so they can match, they can be competitive. They don't want to be outsourced. They learn it from you. You gave them the school about see nothing, hear nothing, know nothing. And now you gave them even the school about 50% off. They got it from you. They got absolutely everything from you. The one who wanted the reward for this here, you know who it was? It was a Christopher Wray who suggested me during MKUltra that he would try to convince to put my blog back. That he would try to convince to put my blog back and so on. You know what? You know what, guys? These games of yours, these mental games of yours that stole 54 years of my life, and my father is mad over there at home for elderly people. He's almost 94 years old. What you have done to me is, I'm just gonna say, I hope that people will consider, I hope that people will see this good. You have to document this stuff, because one day people will watch these videos and will say, what kind of times, when the hell was this, and so on. This went on for 54 years. So this stuff that I talk about is unmistakably correct. This stuff that I talk is so correct. There is not a single misstatement. There's absolutely nothing wrong. Nothing wrong with this Black Friday deal. See nothing, hear nothing. Look, they don't even dare to talk about Epstein anymore. Everything became silent. And the Epstein really was a nobody. It's so important for the people to recognize you when they see you in their countries, that they know exactly who they deal with. You visitors who visited the foreign countries with me, where you use me to espionage, you use me to align yourself to the locals. It's so important for these people to recognize, to know who you are, to see you for what you are. You are scum. You are scum. You really are scum. I just hope that this end somehow comes to an end enough for me to be seen publicly, visible, so that I can talk to people about this, so that I can explain what exactly you were doing in their countries, what exactly I was used for, how you played, using me, play with the mercy, with the hope, with other people, wherever you delivered me, and so on. You know? The world must get to know you for what you are, because you are so dangerous, you are so deadly, you are so parasitic. You are so parasitic that your tentacles, when you get on a certain country, on a certain society, it just completely dissipates, it falls apart, it's decimated, it becomes cancerized. You start to feed yourself in it. And everything you do through coordinated stuff. You always try to make worse. You always try to push apart people and stuff, and families rip apart and so on. It's your way. It's how you do it. It's basically what you are made out of, you know. That's what you are built. That's what you are created. You are meshuggahs. You are BEN ZONAs. Like this Swedish band here, meshuggah. They were involved in it, in this stuff. They also were involved in this stuff, the meshuggah. They got the idea from me, because I was interested in knowing how the Jews say madness, insanity. And there you go. They gave themselves a name, meshuggah. That's it. Just to rate me as a madman, just to pose next to me and video record themselves as a normal people, as a logical people, as you all Aryans. You're Aryans. You know, you're Aryans. You're Aryans. You're all Aryans. All of you are fucking Aryans. You're all logical, and you're all smart, and you're all elegant, and you're all good. By heart, you're good. You're donating. You're good. Wherever you are is God. God and good. That is you. Wherever you go, it's God and good and God. That's you. Now you understand why we don't fit on the same picture. We don't fit on the same picture. You are a very different people than I am. You are in my case to exterminate, to genocide, including me, and that's the way it's gonna stay. Now you have different kind of heroes. Your heroes are this here. These are your heroes. Look, you got plenty of this here. The investors, multi-billionaires, trillionaires, etc., etc. The dad died, and I just learned he paid off my school tuition. There you go. This is the stuff that you came here in this house to brainwash, to clean brain, to cause as much as emotional, intellectual, psychological, and finally mental health, and finally also that goes directly into physical health damage. That's all the fuck you are. You are a parasite in a real meaning of the word. So yeah, you got your 50% special right on this video here. You have it. So now you can go and maybe you can donate more to the hungry American children, and you can pay off some more student loans, and you can do some more stuff for yourself so that you will not suffer, because I understand it's very difficult. You guys don't even have sorry, it's not gonna come out correctly what I'm trying to say, but you guys are farts. You guys are fucking farts, man. You talk to me about some kind of a brain fog and stuff and all kinds of issues involved in them. You guys are fucking farts. You guys are real farts. And the stuff that you are selling here to me, the way you have portrayed yourself also to other people on other continents and shit, to my family, to the people overall, you guys are fucking fart, man. Really farts you are. You don't have the fucking peanut when it comes to this case. You don't actually stand the chance other than to see nothing, hear nothing, know nothing. Because without the psychiatry, you are fucking out cold, man. You, with your families, you are a fucking disgrace and oxygen waste in this world. That's the only thing that you exist for. What you exist actually is to steal the oxygen, not only you but your families. You know that you're parasites. This video was very, very, very necessary. So we have to really, I had to set this everything back about the stuff, the way you lied through the violence, when in fact you were even using me in 2018, 2019 and 2020 so desperately. You flashed with me in Moscow and this and that. I mean, you didn't need me, you don't need me, and I don't exist, but I get to read the news that I was involved in. Why were you so desperate to hijack me, to traffic me to Russia? What happened to you? I mean, if I'm a nobody and I'm nothing, and here is, you cannot tell more nobody and nothing than this here. Like I said, this is not even a blog. This is not even a blog. This is a protest, witnessing and a protest. This is not about the politics. This is about getting even with you, scum. Don't you understand? This is not about the politics. This is about getting even with those of you who did this shit to me. This is about to let you know that never ever have I considered a single time a step forward or question whether I have the right to exist in this world. This is not blog. When you're gonna go and you're gonna try to tell people that this is blog and the videos, fuck you. This is no blog and this is not videos. This is a testimony about the stuff that you did, and this is a protest. It's not a protest. It's to let you know. It's to explain to you, scum, who are sitting in those presidential and minister and all those positions that you have inside of the parliaments, inside of the US Congress. You know, that's what this is. That I exist, and a reminder that you are nothing other than thief of the oxygen, that the oxygen, you exist, you and your children, you are thieves of the oxygen. In this case, that's all the fuck you are. That's all you ever were. This is why. And I have the right to express myself like this. Do you know what they were doing with the Nazis after the World War II? They were lynching them with their families together. Not, unfortunately, innocent people also suffered in the process. But you scum are no innocent. You scum more than participated in this stuff. You enforced stuff that was unreal, that were lies. Everything was based on lies, on slander. That's what you were doing. This is more than block. This is war. This is my war. This is my way of saying, I exist. I existed and I exist, scum. Because I don't have any other way. You know? I don't have any other way to go after you. As you know, the way you treat, the way you do the stuff, the way you do this through the psychiatry, the way your democracy is psychiatry, the way you do, you know, the way you coordinate with the Slovenes, the Slovenci, with the Slovenian police, with the Slovenian psychiatry, the way you did that stuff, the way you do, you don't have. I don't have the right to breathe. I don't have the right to exist. So this is what this is. So now you went on to delete this through your misery. Is no good for you. It's too much evident. It's too bright right out on the side for you, for the world to see, to get to know you, basically, to recognize you for what you are. And you don't like that. You don't like that at all. You don't want to be. You don't. It doesn't fit. It doesn't fit you good. It doesn't go well along with you, this stuff. It's right out, and it doesn't go with your story, with your fable, with your Christmas, with your Black Friday, with the stuff. It doesn't go. You need this kind of stuff so that you can be in control of your life, so you can continue with your life, so you can go on and everything is normal. Everything look like a Christmas, right? That's what this is. This is to, you know, I don't have any other ability, unfortunately, to go after you. And, you know, you made sure that you would have your people all over the place. Every blog that exists out there, owners of the blog who are involved in this MK Ultra case, is something that I have to talk. You are creating the people who owned blog platforms where the people could write the stuff and so on. And it's just very difficult. VIX, which is a Jewish company, was created by Benjamin Netanyahu, is Knesset. They told me, you come to us and you write on the VIX, you're gonna write, as long as you don't write some kind of stupidities. You know, so this is basically, this is the world we live in. This is what it comes to. After 54 years, we ended up like this. This is it. Yeah, something to, you know. This basically, I don't know, but can it be more obvious? I mean, can it be more obvious who you are? Huh? Can it be more obvious where you are coming from? Can it be more obvious? I'm not jealous of Orban going to the Russia. I'm not jealous of Orban going to the Russia. I am just disgusted. I'm just totally disgusted. This is an absolute animal. If I make it, then the head of this guy and his family are gonna fly off. They were all involved in MK Ultra. I'm gonna make sure that I'm gonna hammer all the nails in his coffin if I get through this. I will never let Orban get away with it because of what he have done to me, because of what you, European Union apparatchiks, have done to me. Took absolutely no responsibility. Even presented me as somebody who did the damage to you. You claimed that I did the damage. You caused damage to us. You caused us so much damage. This is the way it was. This is the way it was. That's why it's important to set the record straight about who you are, where you are coming from, what your society is based upon, and even when it comes to who the garbage is, who have done to whom what. You fucking explain to me what you have done for you, you fucking murderous German, American, British, French, Italian, Portuguese, Swedish, Norwegian, Dutch, Canadian, Australian scum. You fucking explain to me who did to whom what. You explain to him who did to whom what. Very, very, very important. Very, very, very important to set the record straight about your European Union meshuggah, American meshuggah. You threw me in psychiatric hospital after 38 years, 40 years of bestiality performed on me. Today, I am almost 54 years old. You took what you might even tell people is a block. This is no fucking block. This is no block. This is just witnessing. This is just witnessing. This is just witnessing about something that you hired so many foreign people globally from around the world that so that it would be the world that accused me of being a bad man, that you wanted me to curse entire world, scum from America, scum from Britain and Germany and so on, when in fact it's you who did this stuff. It's you who paid, who purchased, paid, corrupt, so that you would accomplish that. That's about you. That's your grandeur. That's your grandeur. That's your greatness. That's your German, British, Swedish, Norwegian, Dutch greatness. That's how that is. That's your power. That's what you get for your money. That's basically how you get the stuff done. Putin learned from you. You are all serial killers over there in Brussels. One sitting next to another. You know how I consider you? As a serial killers. As a serial killers. Butchers. You are a butchers of this case. Now you have your 50% off. Friday. Black Friday. This blog, as you like to refer to as, right? It's a blog. This is no blog. This is guaranteed that this stuff is not blog. This is a witnessing. This is not a police. Did not want to consider this as a civil rights complaint, nor did they want to consider this at the United Nations. Antonio Guterres was more busy about finding me a blog. Antonio Guterres directly, personally was involved in a search of a new blogging site for me during MKUltra, and that's a fact, beginning 2016. Antonio Guterres, once I launched AUSER Times blog, he became motivated in finding me a blog site. Antonio Guterres, the future Secretary of United Nations, that is exactly correct, who was coming here to meet with Illuminatis inside of this house here in the city of the Novo Mesto in Slovenia. That's right. That's exactly right. This is a criminal evidence. This is criminal evidence is what this is. Foremost, if anything, this is a criminal evidence, which Jews, Israelis, Jews, together with the Germans, with the British royals more than anybody else, together with the French, together with the Italians, with Spaniards, with the Swedes, with Norwegians, Canadians, Americans, Australians, together have anticipated, Chinese also, North Koreans also, stuff that Indian people did was bad too, anticipated, of course more than anybody, Russians, Illuminatis, anticipated, will give the evidence to the Jews, foremost to the Jews, and to the Slovenes, about my criminal activity. This is what this blog is. That's what this is. Based on which I would be either incarcerated, or the blog would be taken down, or maybe both. As of right now, it's actually both, as it comes in a light of Slovenian garbage pressing against me a new round of the psychiatric measures, prison, through the local village criminals here in the village where I am at. That's what this is. There is no anti-Semitism without blogs like this. There is no anti-Semitism without the people like myself. None. There is none. There is no anti-Slovenian sentiment, there is no anti-Russian sentiment without people like myself. There is none. There is certain sicknesses that the Western world invented together with, coordinated together with the Russians, with the Slovenians and with others to excuse extermination procedures which they enforce. There is certain mental illnesses they invented to excuse their extermination procedures, their democracy basically. That's how democracy works. You cannot kill people, you cannot sentence people to death unless you have the evidence. And the evidence is the blog, the evidence is the word. It's not MK Ultra lynching, because MK Ultra never exists. Think about it. MK Ultra doesn't exist. MK Ultra equals, yes, MK Ultra equals, as I was explained at Novo Mesto police station, a mental illness. Schizophrenia, a paranoia, as I was branded with, beginning 2012. That's what that is. There is no such thing as anti-Semitism or anti-Slovenian sentiment or anti-Russian sentiment or anti-Serbian sentiment without the blog, without the individual who speaks. But everything else does not exist. This is the world that you created. This is your psychiatric, grand psychiatric world. Your Western democracy. That's your capitalism, right? That's your capitalistic way of doing things, of settling things. Right? That's why Black Friday, that's why Christmas, that's why this kind of issues, that's why you pop up this kind of issues. And it's amazing to note, I'm 54 years old. I'm 54 years old and you still going strong. You still keep going. You still want to get some more, huh? You want to get some more, huh? You want to get some more for the holidays. More specials for you. You hungry? You want to get more specials. You hungry? You needy? It's weird. We should give so much money away. I saw the wife of the Jeff Bezos who threw away I don't know how much money. And I saw this one now who threw away so much money. And all these billionaires, they throw away so much money. Bullshit. Bullshit. You don't even own underwear. You fucking scum. The poorest countries in the world are wealthier than you. Much wealthier than you. If they would only start to use your principles of psychiatry, of killing ritual, Satanism, that's what Satanism is. It never came to me that this case was a case of the Satanism. It never came to me. But that's what the Satanism is. When you demonstrate an individual, Rolls-Royce, Bentley, castles, lakes, rivers, all kinds of waterfront properties throughout the Europe, throughout, I don't know, and United States of America, and also in Russia they demonstrated me, and in Australia, and back and forth. When you demonstrate all that stuff as a prince, yeah, you call him a prince. Prince Charlie stated, well, and now is the time for you to pay this. And the form for me to pay all that stuff, sometimes it was not like that. Sometimes I was tortured first, and then I was demonstrated. A cars, a women, cars, properties, and that kind of stuff. Like I was a fucking animal from Stone Age or something like that. You bring on the picture and, you know, you show him few things and then you do some really bad fucking shit to him that's going to cost him life eventually over course of time. Have his internal organs truly multiple sclerosis related issues even pop up on the sepsis alike stuff. Get on the picture. Lymphoma, cancer, that kind of stuff. And interesting how you guys forced me into exactly same locations in Poland as to what you were doing during MK Ultra. During MK Ultra in Poland, you also had me frozen inside of the garage in Zgierz. In Zgierz, you were also that garage, that torture cell was also used for freezing purposes. That garage in Zgierz was involved 40 years in MK Ultra. That's a very, very old garage. Since that garage came up, since that garage was built, that garage was used to literally freeze me inside of the fucking garage. Not exactly 40 years. I should even know when the garage was built. Supposedly that I should have known about that stuff. Which is kind of weird because it goes really, really, really back in time, unless it was another garage that was used. That's also possible. But I think it was this one. I'm quite sure that it was exactly this garage in Zgierz where I was, in a Zagajnikova street, where you had me in Poland. Satanism, you know, Satanism as pure as Satanism can be. That's a Satanism. That's a rituals. That's a ritualism. It's basically driving somebody insane, nuts, through having him in captivity, drugged up, and play with his subconscious, giving him all kinds of information. That's truly, truly a Satanism. Then release him in the element, in the world, back from MK Ultra, just to basically find himself doors for employment close on every step of the way. Satanism as pure as anything satanistic can be. Nothing as pure as satanistic as this case ever existed. Nothing in the face of the world existed anything as pure as satanic, satanistic, luciferic as you scum. Yeah, keep laughing, Ursula von der Leyen. You are satanist, Lucifer you are. And so is your family. So are your children and your husband and everybody else. For every one of you politicians involved in this stuff, every one of you is a satanist. You are satanists. You are Satanas. You are Lucifers. So this comes evident as this humans are Lucifers much more than gods. Much more than related to the God. The God is a hypocrisy that's called a constitution. It's called bullshit. I demonstrated you a little bit earlier, fucking Pope over there from Vatican. That's about as closest to God as you can get. And I'm saying this because it's a clown that wear the white robes based on some holy letter from the blah blah land that you invented, basically. They were lying, they were coming here to this house here to literally to lie, steal and kill. This is what they were coming here. This is what they were meeting themselves here inside of this house, and it became dangerous for Ursula von der Leyen as well as for others. It became dangerous because I was such a nice person. I was just quiet, cooperative, and dedicated to these people, and so it became very, very, very dangerous for them. Why? Well, if this would come out, it would be very, very, very dangerous. That they did this just to some random man, to just a normal human being. So because of this, what they did was they made a decision to throw me in psychiatric hospital, to rip me apart completely, to get the psycho out of me, so they could say, oh well, well, you see, it's like this, it's like this, it's like this. They want to present themselves as normal. They didn't want their families to end up under the rails, basically, under the tires, as the case should have been. And so they gave themselves more and more extensions. They gave themselves more and more lies. They gave themselves more and more. As you see, she is posing here with this garbager here. This is I think Latvian or whatever that is. Gitanas Nauseda. She used that because of the word gitanas. I had Ursula von der Leyen utterly posing in my face as a Roma person. They call los gitanos Roma people. Egyptian little mini gypsies in Spanish. And so no, she dressed herself up, she put herself in some kind of light that I would see Roma in her. Literally like this. We have gone through such a lunacy stuff. I mean, you know what the psycho is? Do you know what like the most deranged person, lunatic, looks like? I mean, the posters that you see from the people, this meshuggah, they had such a videos that they started to play in my face and demanded for me to watch their videos till I actually didn't want to have nothing to do with it. Extremely violent people, these meshuggah people. They wanted to drive me absolutely insane. Now, if you look at the picture here, the way she is posing here, this is the Canadian guy. This is not Gitana, say. I don't understand what the fuck. This is the guy from Canada, alright, it doesn't come to me right now, but a little earlier she had on the picture him and the name Gitanas, and the Gitanas now said that okay, this is not the same picture. Okay, so this is not the same picture. This is really Canadian guy. He is from Lithuania, this guy here. This is from Lithuania. This one also went after me because I did not like Roma. So, well, this is the way they want. This is the way it is. Why would they want like this? Why all this stuff? Why all this stuff? Why was this block deleted? Why all this stuff? Why all this psycho stuff? Why all this serial killer, psycho killer, maniac, psychopath, serial killer, butcher stuff? Why all this stuff? You know, you guys all talk about Russians, what the Russians do. But there is a Russians right there, you have it. And there is another one right here that I demonstrated you. Her name is Ursula von der Leyen, is a female. Why all this kind of stuff? Why all this kind of stuff? Why all this kind of stuff? Well, I think that you should be asking yourself about that stuff, because I think it concerns everybody. I think it concerns your well-being, and foremost, the people that are not aligned to European Union, the people that are not aligned to United States of America, and or are in between. You should be asking yourself about what kind of world this is. What the fuck is this? Is this what you want? You want the Satanism? You want the Luciferism? You want your family members, your families to dwell like animals inside of the halls with no purpose in life, basically, just so that the politicians could portray their reality, their way. The serial killers, the butchers. You want to have your relatives in hands of serial killers, butchers. That's what you want. That's how you want it. You want that kind of stuff. Is this the meaning of the world? This is the purpose in life? That's how it is. This is a categorization, classification of the people. That's how we came. Okay, congratulations. We do not even have this in the fucking Stone Age. Not even a fucking Stone Age. They call it European Union, and the other one is called United States of America. Oh, one picture so that you can see her, how happy she is. She is thrilling from the happiness. Maybe it's because my blog is gone. Maybe it's that's what made her so enthusiastic with her Canadian partner. That's normal to you? It's normal like this? She was involved since my childhood. And this one too here. To her right. And so, is this like, this is where this whole thing is heading to? This is what this is? This is a meaning of life? That's what this is? I wonder how would it be if I butchered her 10 children that she has. How would it be if I butchered her husband and her 10 children and her family, with her watching the stuff that I have gone through? How would that be inside of her head? Because she looks tough, she looks enthusiastic, she looks so happy about it, she looks so look at her. I mean, look at these eyes. Look how bristling she is. Look at that. How courageous, how smart, how strong she is. Look at it. Look at it. I bet if I did the stuff to her she was involved in and even enforced together with Angela Merkel and with others, I bet there would be no life inside of her. I bet it would be just another one bites the dust. You gotta love those teeth also, the way it looks. They all, pretty much all of you are the same. It's the same thing. When you have a German posing as a Roma individual, that's exactly the stuff that went on. Angela Merkel involved Sinti people from Germany and so on, and they, together with the Germans, they posed like my victims. Yeah, they hijacked me to the Germany, and it was all kinds of minorities, but one of the most violent also in Germany that Germans used against me, just like the British royals have in Greater than Great Britain, was again a Roma community. You gotta have a sympathy for the German when the German is posing next to Roma with special lights and reflectors on her, look like a Roma person in your face to get more proofs against you, staring at you like fucking mad. You really gotta have a compassion for it, man. You gotta really, it's really something about it, especially if your parents were already on a train station listed for Auschwitz, for Dachau, and likewise other side of the family that even lost family members inside of the battle with the Germans during the World War II. You gotta be truly, do you know the stuff? Do you comprehend the stuff I'm talking about? This isn't applying to Ursula von der Leyen anymore. This is applying to the young people from the European Union. This is applying to the young people in the United States of America. You're parasites, like your parasites equal to your... I don't have any faith in you, to be honest with you. You're just parasitic parasites, identical to your peers, from whom you inherited this kind of wisdom. But this wisdom came to an end. Now it's time to make sure the world understands who you are. Who you are. This is not a case about me. I'm just a mirror. I'm your mirror. That's all there is to it. The Germans calmed Slovenian side, the Slovenci, Slovenski, gnide ušive Slovenske, smrdljive. They calmed Slovenian side. Ja, das ist kein Problem. Das ist kein Problem. It's not a problem. It's nicht Problem. Will be no problem. Will be no problem. We are all together. We are all together. So we are all together. That's why. And you're talking about the young people here. You're talking about the young people. You're talking about the young German scum, filth, young degenerates from Germany. Young, filthier than filthy. Filthier than their predecessors. Filthier than Ursula von der Leyen. Filthier than Merkel. Filthier, much filthier than Helmut Kohl. Helmut Kohl, yeah, you heard me right. Much filthier than any of this scum. Much filthier, young. Than Prince Charles. Filthier, more vicious. They competed with the viciousness. Which one is going to be more vicious? Which one is going to be more satanic, basically. It's kein Problem. It's nicht Problem. We're working all together. There's no problem, no problem. You Slovenian don't have to worry about. It's kein Problem. It's like fucking own me, man. Like I was fucking a car or a pencil or something like that. You can do anything you want to. I find it quite fantastic, you know. Ursula von der Leyen is all about the young people. Young people. Today I met with the young people. And we have a young people and we met with the young people. I had a group of young people. And she gave the speech. Oh, European Union, fantastic. You come to European Union and you this, you have the kind of department, we have another department, we shuffle the money in a trash bin, and then we have another department also, you know, young people this, young people can study, you can do this, it's fantastic. And we also had a garbage like this guy here, but you know, we also put up with this kind of stuff, because Ursula von der Leyen is all about the young people. Young people inside of the European Union is this here. They actually even say in German, Dreck. That's a young people. That's a hope inside of the European Union under Ursula von der Leyen. And if you did participate in this stuff, and you were aligned to Ursula von der Leyen in any way, that if I see you, I recall you, your involvement in MK Ultra, anywhere near Ursula von der Leyen, that you communicated with her, you are listed. It's good to go. This case eventually somehow, some way will come out. And the day it will come out, I'm going to go straight after you and your families. Just so that you know. You too, scum. You are not any better. You are only making arrangement with the Ursula von der Leyen who one day had to retire to replace her. But other than that, you are more murderous, you are more vicious. It's because of you. I'm today 54 in a situation like this. You, the youngest, you were more scum than anybody else. Vicious, disrespectful, without any respect for any dignity, nor for the human life. For you, the abuse, torture, killing, unlimited, all acceptable. For as long as you can cover up for your peers. You are scum over there in Germany, in Brussels, in France, in Belgium, and Netherlands, and all over the place. You are a murderous scum who cares only about what I stated in this video. That's much about your Western democracy, which is really a psychiatry. Issue of the Jews kicked out of United States of America was involved in MK Ultra. You don't have to say anything during MK Ultra. The words, they put them in your mouth like you would put tape into VCR, or you would take tape into a recorder, whatever. Simply started the schizophrenia. But we cannot deport them. We cannot kick them out. We cannot do that. I never even said that you should. And that shit later translated. During the course of time, they let me know about this stuff. That we cannot do this to them. We cannot do this to them. Is basically what they based entire genocide. It's like, we cannot do this to them. You joked up, see yourself already in another country. Obviously, you were kicked out of the country through forced unemployment, literally. More obnoxious, more disgusting, even if they would come at home and grab you and take you to the airport and expose you out. If they come and pick you up and take you out of the country, this is very humane, actually. It's much more inhumane when they have you go from door to door, knock, look for the job, you know, that kind of stuff. Write endless resumes while guaranteeing you that you're going to end up inside of the psychiatric hospital one day, as they have made an arrangement here with the Slovenes. So that's what I meant by that, you know? We cannot do that to them. We cannot do that to them. It's just become like you would be acting stupid, idiotic in the face of somebody whom you have done this, and this actually did took place against me. That's why I stated that this is not a blog. This was not a blog. This was simply something that you have created for the sake of your regulations, not even laws, but regulations. This is now the bloggers' regulations, which are, of course, based on the so-called laws. And obviously the laws are, of course, based on the Constitution. You do understand that this was not even a blog. The truth is, you didn't have absolutely any right to, even like this, touch this blog. In a parenthesis, blog. This was no blog. This was obviously witnessing about atrocity that you committed. This goes into the category of the worst atrocities that you can commit to somebody. This goes into category of the atrocities, that the worst possible atrocities that you can possibly come up with against a single individual. There was no atrocity against a single individual in this world as of today, for as long as this world even existed, that would be done against a single individual than whatever I depicted on the blog. No atrocity ever come anywhere even remotely close to this shit. This was a slow, deliberate, not bewildering, but complete, like you would drive somebody completely out of the skin, out of his body procedure, through literally a total disdain, denial, and derision for the acts of, as I described, as atrocity. By literally performed, went through, and as they post literally even in front of me through the mainstream media, and or in many cases meeting them in person, people who did this shit. Basically sadism, basically like something you would, crime, atrocity that you would commit, on which you would go like this and you would piss on it, smile about it, laugh about it, shit on it, literally. While not admitting this publicly through your network, organized crime network, Illuminati network that you have, through your so-called journalism, you would deliver this news to convince them, basically to convince yourself that you are simply invincible and that this is the way of life. That's why I said, Vladimir Putin, from you, Russians, they could only learn from you. There is no way they knew about these things. You are the one who have enlightened, envisioned them. This is also why I know that you work together. This is another thing why I know that you work together. You demonstrated whatever Joseph Stalin or this Lavrenti Beria, these guys from the Soviet Union could not even possibly dream about. It's possible to do with the people. Like just like this, right out on a bright light, just so that they could see how it can be done, basically. You demonstrated whatever George Orwell wrote about, and he might have probably even wrote about already on something that he might have even, who knows, if he had not seen this stuff with his own eyes. Who knows who George Orwell really was. You have done stuff that the biggest psychopaths possibly could not envision is actually possible. And you demonstrated it, that as long as it is with you around, that everything is just fine, everything will be okay. Like you portray yourself, to my case, as somebody who is just absolutely in control of everything, and there is nothing that could not be settled in a way that you would want, as long as you are part of that criminal circle. That's exactly what this shit is. No, I find it extremely disgusting, rotten, and will not allow young people to come anywhere close to this case, simply because of what I stated. I don't believe in you. I think that you are rotten. People that were connected to the Brussels, to these political circles, this is just continuation, basically, of the stuff that took place against me, which is going to get gradually, systematically even worse and worse, and it possibly could even get worse than this. This is the reason why I label and acknowledge you as a scum, as the ultimate scum, even bigger scum than your... Yeah, you gotta be a bigger scum when you are in a school and you read about a stuff like this, and you learn about a stuff like this, and you didn't even start life and you already know about lie more than numerous adults do. Lie is actually a life. You know that you're no fucking good when you do the stuff like this to the older person, with all the disrespect, with everything that, you know, is portrayed through society as, you know, that you should be proper, that you should have a, with the people, a proper blah 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 etiquette and, you know, conduct with the people and all that stuff. You know that you're a scum. You know that you're a total scum. You know that you're a much bigger scum than your mentors. The generations that are coming out are going to be even worse people now. It's even more disgusting fucks that came out. More rotten, more criminal, more entitled communists right here inside of the European Union. Socialists, explosion of the socialism, communism right here inside of the Europe. Like murderous scum that is just vicious, eager to manufacture, produce fake, false, all kinds of crime in competition with this garbage, basically, this filth, this I'm not gonna say radical, I'm not gonna say neo-Nazi, I am portion, let's say, of anti-communist society, which ran the whole thing by basically demonstrating that everybody can be part of this stuff. There is a place for absolutely everybody, for everyone, as long as we can get a favor here, favor there, and we can all work together and this and that. It's an epidemic of failed society, basically. It's a total epidemic of organized crime, corruption. Nothing is worse than handouts through the private people. That's basically when a member of the society is not even considered anymore as a human being. I mean, and you're still a human being even if you cannot find a job. You know what I mean? You're just a human being. You're still a member of the community. You're still a human that should be treated completely indifferently from the person who has a job. You know this. And basically categorizing, because especially, look, you alone admitted how many jobs artificial intelligence ate away, and how many jobs all this technologically more demanding, automated, robotic industry took away, basically ate away. You write news like this, on the other hand, you are killing the news like this with making people feel worthless about it, like depend on handouts from certain people rather than being an equal member of the society. The younger he gets, the more younger he gets, the more corrupt, the more malicious, the more sadistic, the more ready to kill, steal, do stuff to get ahead of the game, the more violent, more because that's what you promote. Basically, you promote stuff that there is something out there that it can be, and this and that, and it's about images of the special smart people like Elon Musk and Zuckerberg and Jeff Bezos. They all look smart. You all look so fucking smart, aren't you? You're all geniuses. Every fucking one of you is one genius bigger than the other. Then you meet them in real life, then you realize they're actually dickheads all the way 360 degree. That is just really not exactly what they are depicted to be. Past that technical schools they go through and all the knowledge that governments sips in their heads to get to wear shoes and pants of executives and look smart, to be depicted through the media and so on. This is not really, there is no brilliance in these people, really. I have not noticed. They had a lot of other issues going on. And so, I'm not going to say their lives are not demanding, because of course they are demanding. I'm not trying to underestimate anybody, but essentially these people are completely identical to every one of you. there is no difference between these people other than what I stated in this video. And so, you know, when I consider that you took, in a parenthesis, that blog down, you were just basically entitling your regulations with you actually surpassed criminal laws, because not even criminal laws can really, not even criminal laws have the right to touch that blog. Why the fuck would that be if somebody fucking witnessed you about the atrocities like this? Why the fuck would that be? How the fuck would that be? You committed atrocities, and the person to whom you have committed does not have the right to explain his experience, because you claim basically that MK Ultra simply does not exist. It just doesn't exist. On the other hand, you lie to the people on the videos that Bill Clinton apologized for MK Ultra and so on and so forth. You build all kinds of visions, fake visions, and completely contradicted them with a truth, with a hardcore truth, with the facts. Disgusting. Age 54, and I end up with 10-year-long blog that I had being taken away from the internet. With what fucking right? With what fucking right? What can you use? Which law can you use against me to take the blog right? Which one? My intent to get you killed with your families through the court, through the law? Hopefully. Well, hopefully I do. What the fuck is so wrong about that? I didn't say I'm gonna go inside of your homes and get you killed. I said that I will get my hands on you one way or the other through the court, through the police. That this some way, somehow, by God, is gonna come out. And when I will make you shorter for one head. That is for sure. That's exactly what I live. That's exactly what I breathe for. I'm not hiding this. And the world as it is will be much better off. It will be called as a reset. What the reset means? The reset basically means that the law still exists. That the Constitution still exists. And now that you cannot go hijacked and rob and destroy, vandalize, and keep somebody forcefully unemployed for 54 years, use employment for torture purposes. That law still exists that prohibits human trafficking, poisoning, spine breaking. You think that's fucking wrong? To kill people like this? You think that placing people like this on a death chairs, put them a rope around the neck, put them in front of the wall and shred them with the bullets to the firing squad, you think that's fucking wrong? Lobotomize people like this? It's wrong for you? Is it wrong for you? Is that too much to ask for? Like, what's wrong about that, man? Pedophiles, serial killers, butchers, killing them is wrong. Persecuting them is wrong. To get them, grab them by the throat together with their families whom they tutored, teach to do this stuff, involved in it, teach them to do this stuff, how to kill people, how to put people inside of the psychiatric hospital, pass laws. Is it okay not to kill people that violate laws? That's not okay? This is not okay? This is wrong? Based on my law, not. I'm just a human being. And yeah, no man, you cannot really judge me. You cannot judge me. You cannot judge me based on what you have done to me. And I do by God, that I do have the right at least to tell people, really, seriously, even for the cost of life, if I get killed, whatever, what I want to do with you, scum, what should have been done with you. I do. I might not actually accomplish that, but at least if I tell people that I would kill you and your families, it sends the signal that I'm a human being, for fuck's sake. Next to the proofs, Mount Everest of proofs that I listed on the blog, You had absolutely no fucking right to touch that block, to even come close to that block. This is just the way it is. Also according to the laws. According to the laws, constitution, international treaties, and absolutely everything. You cannot make person be anti-Semite if you kill him, his family, and absolutely everything, delete his life. You cannot call him anti-Semite without person being other than born to this world. You cannot call that person anti-Semite, nor you can claim that he is trying to exterminate you after, like I said, you practically murder person. You delete his life, you murder him basically. You use him to demonstrate the world on what in the worst way possible can be done to the human being. You practice Satanism, Luciferism on him for 54 years. Get him through the psychiatric hospital. Make sure that he had absolutely nothing to live for, not out of his life. You cannot say that person is trying to exterminate you, fuck. Person is trying to defend his right to exist. If he does. If the person doesn't even tell what the fuck he want to do with you, based on Mount Everest of the proofs that he laid down, then who the fuck is the person? What kind of person the fuck is this? You have courts, you have police, you have psychiatrists, you have politicians, Congress, parliaments. You're fucking conservative, neo-Nazi, bastard movement that introduced all this communist and leftist and I don't know what kind of ideals, I should say, reintroduced into our society so that you could control the society through controlled opposition. Make illusion about human rights for people waving flags and what else? No king movement. No king. You were all fucking kings. You were kings for 54 years. You were doing whatever the fuck you wanted to do 54 years. If you don't believe me, go and ask your Viktor Orban, Hungaro. That Hungaro is going to tell you the truth for sure. It's a Hungarian. And the Hungarian people only tell truth. Go to the Hungary, to the Budapest. And if you don't believe him, then go to the Moscow over there. Ask your friend Putin. He will tell you the truth. Because they only talk truth. The younger, the more vicious, more corrupt, more disgusting. And I saw Ursula von der Leyen meeting young people at European Union, whether that be student or even younger people. What the fuck for? What the fuck for? For what? What the fuck did you have Ursula von der Leyen meeting young people for what? For what? For what? You did not finish this case. You did not brought this case to an end. What the fuck did you meet the young people for what? What exactly was the purpose of your meeting young people? Young people have tour guides. They have a lot of other politicians that do exactly this kind of stuff. How the fuck, next to everything that you do, since you portray to be so busy, you find time for the young people? A politician like you are a politician, I'm not. But you're a politician. Very, very misleading politician. Very, very corrupt. Very, very malicious. Satanist. Not even a politician. So what the hell did you show the young people for? Did you show yourself who they depict you everywhere through the media? Ursula von der Leyen, Ursula von der Leyen. So that young people would have exactly what? Impression about what exactly? The work you do, or about yourself appearing in a mainstream media whom they actually have opportunity to handshake with, meet in person? These are two different things. What exactly were you doing with the young people? You talk about young people all the time during MK Ultra. Meeting young people, young people, young people. And the young people from you learn exactly what? They learn about where is the toilet inside of the European Union Parliament. They learn about where they can go to get themselves food, grab themselves a sandwich, whatever. They grab about what? They learn about what from you? They learn about what? Where do they sit? They learn about what exactly did they learn? They went inside to see that seven wonder, those walls, that basically ample space, and you are the one, you welcome them actually. How fucking impressive that is, man. Because I'm not even sure if they do this in China. Do they do this shit in China? Do they go inside of the Chinese Communist Party assembly, and do they have a Xi Jinping going around with the young people and tell them, hey, by the way, now there is a toilet and there is, you know, whatever, coffee machine, you can get yourself something to drink. By the way, we have a department for what? To scratch what? To scratch fleas of the head. To have department, you have a 50 fucking departments pertaining to the human rights. But not even one of these departments is semi. They're all deficient, not efficient. I was going semi-efficient. They're all fucking deficient. Tremendously deficient. You'll see whatever the hell you want to see. So, what exactly is this about the young people anyways? Young people. I have a young people, and it's about the young people. It's about young. It's about young. Hey, European Union. It reminds me of that fucking Stalin commercial. Young people. When the young people, the history stands. Tell the young people about this case. You fucking piece of shit. Tell the young people what you did for 54 years in this case. So they can go with the European Union flag. Hurrah! Hurrah! Drugar von der Leyen. Our comrade von der Leyen. Go, tell them the truth. Tell them the fucking truth about this thing. A fucking bizarre, fucking blackout moment. I see Ursula von der Leyen meeting a young group of young people come to the European Union Parliament. Yeah, man. This is Mr. Nikiforos Diamandouros. This is, I don't know who the fuck. Human Rights Ombudsman. And then we have, what is it? We have a European Commission, and we have Mr. Polski, and we have Mr. whatever Janusz, and we have young people meeting young people. Young people for what? Young people. It's a young people from all backgrounds and all parts of the Europe meeting young people. You Roma? Oh, nice. We have a group of that represents Roma people. Oh, how nice. You Jew? Oh, how nice. We have a special department over there for the Jews that they take care of that. And what are you? You're from Africa? Oh, how nice. We have a special department for we have a special, you know, we have an uncle is going to come and he's going to help you with this. You know, we have different uncles and aunts. What exactly is this about the young people and the work that you do? The work that you do is, what is the work that you do? What kind of work that you do? You sit, you drink, you eat, and you vote on various resolutions which your lawmakers from whatever country bring inside of the European Parliament. You vote on different representatives from different countries. The entire political, based on the political agenda which you enforce in the background of it all, through coordination, through engineering with global Illuminati circle. This is what the fuck you do. This is what the fuck you do. These young people, meeting a young people come to visit the European Union Parliament. It's a young Ursula von der Leyen meeting a group of the young people. It's about the young people. Young people. We have a young people. Very positive, young, very, very promising, very good career. Maybe you can do this, maybe you can do that, maybe you can do... Yeah, you can do a lot of stuff. You can do a lot of stuff in this world. A lot of stuff you can do. You can do all kinds of stuff. What kind of stuff can you do? You can do whatever the fuck you can do with one step away from the funny uncle whom they also presented you inside of the European Union. And what they presented you inside of the European Union actually was whatever can be done to a human being. And whatever was done to human being was done inside of United States of America, which citizen I even became. Yet inside of the European Union. Let's not forget, one step away from becoming a funny uncle like this, many uncles that they have. The main industry, one of the main industries inside of the European Union is a psychiatry. Is exactly the psychiatry. That's exactly what it is. Killing people through selection process, as I spoke about on this blog. That's how that stuff is done. Boy, that you are 10 years old and you go from the school and you are thinking about how good the fuck would it be if you would be dead. Because you're asking yourself every fucking day when you go to the school, for another at least 8 years till the grammar school is finished. You are asking yourself if it's worth it to come back in the school for more. You are asking yourself for 8 fucking years if you're gonna even make it to another class. Ask my mom. Ask my fucking mom. You ask yourself as you enter the grammar school if you're gonna even manage to complete a fucking first grade of the grammar school. Yeah! It's a Ursula von der Leyen! Yeah! Is it good? Does it feel good to be inside of the European Union Parliament? To see this excitement? Is it good? Does it make you feel free? Is it Coca-Cola? Is good? It tastes good? You're closer to the Soviet Union that you were during the fucking Soviet Union occupation. And they make money through exactly what I told you. And it doesn't matter how poor the fuck you are. You can't be as poor as they are inside of the European Union meshuggah, BEN ZONA, inside of America. American BEN ZONA. You can't be so fucking poor. It's difficult to be so fucking poor because you can always, sure enough, you can always find somebody, you can go out there and just fucking kill him and his family, and you can get the house, his fucking car, his fucking job, and so on and so forth. Remember, the world is not so poor. You can always get somebody. You can always find somebody. It doesn't matter how poor society you are. If you want more money, there is always a way to make money. This is dead people being anti-Semites, dead people trying to exterminate Jews, Roma, I had nothing to do with the Roma. Roma are the most vulnerable within the society. There's nobody more vulnerable within the society than Roman people. Everybody was hiring Roma. Spaniards, Germans, Slovenes, Austrians, British, Irish, they were all looking for Roma people. Roma the best. The thing is, I had nothing to do with the Roma. That's crazy. Italians, you are looking also for Roma people. Italians people are looking for Roma people. Italians people warn me, this is a Rome. Roma, Italia, not Romani. No. And another thing, we are Romani. We are not Romani. One thing is Roman people, from the times of Roman Empire. Then you have Romans. Romans are people, I should say, Roman people from Roman Empire, and also Romans from Rome. And a completely different thing is Romani people. And the Romani people is not too far from, Romani people is French, Italian, Spanish, Portuguese. Romani. Roma people, that's a totally different category. That's a Roma people. So, Roma, Romani, and etc., etc. They did not like even the name Roma people. They wanted to make sure that I understand that that's a Roma people, not Romani people, not Roman people, and etc., etc., etc. From Belarus, from Poland, from Czech Republic and Slovakia. Eventually I met some good Roma people in this case. Even that this was the most violent group involved in MK Ultra for obvious reasons, as I explained. The European Union is just a really, really sad place. Europe overall, it's a really sad place. Laws, regulations, they exist to protect people. Who and what the fuck are you trying to protect in this case? Because my block went down, in a parenthesis block, and so I obviously victimized, I obviously did illegal criminal stuff, I obviously have committed crimes, I obviously blah 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 blah. How the fuck is that possible, I ask you, that you torture somebody for no less than 48 years? And then you yourself, who is exposed, present yourself literally through simply deletion of the block, obviously through your regulations, through your laws, as a victim to this person. Yet you are again victim. In 2012, you claim that I tried to exterminate Jews, Slovenes, Roma people, yeah. That's how you threw me into psychiatric hospital. And that's what you maintain, that's what you insisted. This is law for you? This is lawful? This is lawful? This is what European Union is? This is okay. You're victims. All of you are victims. And I'm the one who is endangering your life, right? It's exactly what you did. That's exactly what you have done it again. You did it today, now, at my age 54 now. I was 39 in 2012. Now I am 54. And you went on to delete my blog. Because you're a victim and because I'm the attacker. I'm the violator. I am an anti-Semite. I am trying to exterminate Slovenes. I am trying to exterminate Roma people. I'm trying to exterminate whoever else I'm trying to exterminate. That's exactly what this is. You're all victims. You're victims. For yourself, you deserve the victim. I'm the victim. I am the victim. You've wrote to me this stuff. You've wrote to me this stuff for 54 years that you are a victim during MK Ultra. When you tortured me, when you butchered me, during your lynching, you presented yourself as a victim. As a victim. So next time, whoever it's going to be, you're going to be in my situation, they do this stuff to you or you have a family member. Remember that those that are doing this to your son, to your daughter, to whoever they're doing, they're victims. You understand? They are victims. Anyhow, I think that the parents of the people like myself, they're not good anyways. You're no fucking good anyways. Because it goes with your permission and you were able to see how far the hell this shit went, in my case. Paying visits to my father, making him walk with a broken spine, literally, with pain inside of my toes, literally, from the nerves. Spine injury. And they don't remember anything, as you see. So that's another topic, that's another issue, basically, that I have. Ursula von der Leyen inside of the parliament meeting young people. These people, whoever the fuck met her, this scum is not sure enough you're not going to come anywhere close to me. I'm going to bloody make sure that I fucking know all about whoever I interact with when it comes to Ursula von der Leyen and stuff, because you are such a dreck, basically, such a dreck. I watch you growing, so many of you, and it just turned out to be really, really bad. Talking about the politicians and their children, and especially none more than royals and stuff like this. That's why I don't like this privileged elites people, because these are beasts. These are not even animals. I cannot even see them as an animal. Animal is innocent, but these are totally animals, basically, in a sense of, as I described, Ivanka Trump and Eric Jr. and I should say Donald Jr. and Eric and so on and all this stuff. When I think about all this stuff, William, Harry, and all these kids, this is truly beasts, man. It's just beasts. It's just another day. Another way, another this, whichever way you can, you know, just go out there and fucking do unlimited, whichever way comes my way, basically. And it's not only about them, it's also about you Democrats. It's about you fucking Democrats. I saw you growing up too. You are just as rotten criminal, probably even more. Many of you are going to end up inside of the agreements with this conservatives, in a parenthesis, as I stated. Anyways,